One of the words that I've had to struggle with as an indie author is the word success. And I've come to dislike it quite a lot when thinking about it in terms of my new career as a writer. And the reason is because it is discouraging, it's actively demotivating to think about what I'm doing in terms of success or failure. And for that reason, I don't like the word success at all. And I've decided actually not to use it in the way that I think about what I'm doing. When you think about anything that you do or that people do, one often rates it in terms of success. So you'll look at a writer and you'll say, you know, is that a successful writer or not? Is that a successful footballer or not? Is that a successful politician or not? It's a common thing to do in the way that we judge other people. Are they successful at or almost anything? But it can be a destructive way of looking at something when you want to achieve a goal. And so what I've decided is that rather than think about what I'm doing in terms of success, it's much more useful to think about it in terms of progress. And then I can give what I'm doing a much more positive spin until such time as I am, in quotes, successful. And so then the question is, at some point I am thinking that I will be successful, but I still don't like that word, because I think the goal that I'm trying to get to, and I think goal is a better word, like progress towards a goal, is I'm trying to get to some level of recognition by an audience of readers who, I suppose, understand what I'm doing, like what I'm doing, respect it enough that they're prepared to, well, I suppose, yeah, to read the books. I mean, I suppose, again, I want to say, so the measure of success would be, but I want to get away from the word success, because I think it's almost pejorative, or at least that's the way it feels to me at this point in my career. Because if you looked at me and you said, you know, from the outside, you'd say, you could look at, just to be extreme, Stephen King is a successful author. How do I rate compared to Stephen King? Obviously, I'm not successful, that word, compared to him. And then you could look at even just indie self-published authors that you might know, and you could say, am I successful compared to them? And again, the answer would be no. And so from my perspective, that's not useful, because it's not helpful to know that I'm not successful. What do I conclude from that? You can say, oh, right, well, you should be doing this, this, and this to be successful. Well, in the short term, there's only one thing that, well, in any term, there's only one thing I should really be doing, and that's writing. And then looking at my writing and considering whether my writing is good or not, i.e. whether it meets my standard, the standard that I believe I should have as a writer. And if I do that, then I've made progress. And I think that's the right way to look at it, is that I just need to always be making progress in what I'm doing as a writer. And success is for other people at this point. Or you could just say, I can redefine success. But, you know, you could say, all right, success is like truth. It's a relative. There's no real meaning to it. But when we talk about truth, for example, we all have a belief of what we think that is. We think truth is facts, which is not true. And it's the same with success, is that success, you could say it's something that is just, each individual can decide what it is. but it's not as simple as that. It's more, we do have a standard of success in the way that we have a standard of truth, and both are equally fallacious. So I wanted to get away from truth as well as success. I think that's a whole nother discussion, the whole issue of truth. But anyway, to steer away from that truth and stay on success, I think success is such a relative term that it's not useful for me, and that progress is where I want to focus my attention in terms of gauging where I am. And so that's what I'm going to do. And so I think the whole point of this first video in this video diary is just to say that, if you're in the same boat, for example, if you're a starting out indie author, I think looking at your career in terms of success I think it's the wrong thing to do. I think you should just look at it in terms of progress, and then you set yourself goals, and then it's progress towards those goals.